Well, guess what happens when the car shakes so violently it's like you hit a 6-inch curb. Poosh! But I am still pliable. That was way easier than I thought. Alrighty, so we made it here. We just changed the tires, and we made it in pretty reasonable. So thanks to Kevin Smith for letting us use his hoist. So I think everything is pretty good right now. Hopefully, I just changed tires. Kyle's looking at spark plugs. We're gonna put the E98 fuel in it, and go make a pass. So my wife is following the family tradition of being a transmission killer. Look at it. She looks all innocent over there, packing her parachute there, but she's a transmission killer too.
You can see it in her eyes.
You can see it in her eyes. It's like this little darkness that's there, and it's like must kill transmission. So, anyways, we're gonna go up and make a pass here in a little bit as soon as they call us. So everything's all pretty good.
You can't be rolling around with dirty rims, bro. Dirty rims, it's a no-go. You gotta keep these things clean, man. These are nice double beadlock billet specialties. And we're not sponsored by them, and I'm saying that they're nice because they are nice wheels.
Any advice on that one, but
ran right out of fuel pressure, but the thing's full of fuel, so we're gonna drop the fuel tank. I need a 5/8 deep well socket on the impact. So I'm gonna pull the tank out of this thing and see if the filters are plugged or it's a brand new fuel cell. I don't know what's going on. So we'll get something out of it. Yeah, brand new stock fuel tank. You'd think it wouldn't be any problem. I wouldn't think it'd be any problem.
Jacob Davis, he's already done a bunch of work on this joint.
Okay. Now
Pretty far down.
I need
I am also looking for an
1/8 inch. Gotta take this out here.
They bring from air out. It is a. They're looking at They'll bring up Brittany San Martino, all colors of the color wheel of 4i Mustang on the left side. We'll take it up against.
Can you go turn the key on? I'll see if both pumps are actually turning.
Pickup truck, Collins Ford, 1028 to 132, 1166 to 130.
Well, that one definitely sounds better. Okay, you want to turn them off? You need to turn on the key switch. Oh, yeah. Okay, you can turn it off. Yeah, that's definitely a lot more. We gotta take these off, swap this out, need a Phillips screwdriver. There. One.
lots of fuel.
So he is trying to get to a low 8 to high 7
It did fall off. It's
So
just
we're
not
good for the weekend for the 19.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on.
Okay, turn it off. There's that. I don't see if that's plugged up with anything. You think they're compliant?
This is locked up. You cannot breathe through this.
He went out pretty quick. I was like, okay, but I moved out. I told you.
No way, that sucks. I bet you those pumps aren't bad. That can't be right.
Probably 9085 compliant.
So it's good polish here, right?
Yes. Well, we got the actual physical from depending on how quickly we take care of it.
All right, I'm going to put this back up in there. Probably. Hot diggity dog. Need a bolt. That was way easier than I thought. Okay, we just gotta cut that line, put that filter in line. See where the easiest place to cut it would be. All right, let's test this pump real quick, see how fast this pulls fuel, although we probably need to put some fuel in it.
The Street Race Channel. Billy Hopkins and the 1955 Chevy. Just four.
Okay, turn it on. Okay. Yep. Yep.
It's really hard to hang on to. The bond will pull the pin.
Something stupid wrong. So we just made that pass. It still has, there's a problem. I don't even know what it is. They're getting frustrated, to tell you 100% truth. So we are just leaving because we will figure it out. So I got a really long drive, and I'm gonna swap spots with Nate so he can do some filming in the back seat because it's awesome. Alrighty, so we were at last day, and is it day 5? I think it's day 5. Last day, so we were heading to the final part of the trip to Orlando. The drive on the car now has really been good. Wouldn't you agree, Kyle?
Yeah.
I mean, it runs perfect. And it drives nice. It does everything nice. Figure out the heating or the cooling fans issue. So that's all done. So that whole portion of it is great. Worked all the bugs out of that thing. Everything from the little tires rubbing and all that kind of stuff. So we got all that done. Everything's cool there. We're gonna make it to the track, and Lord willing, we're gonna make a good pass today. I think we got little shifting issues figured out. Oh, you saw fix the fuel pump issue because it ran out of fuel pressure. Every day, that's kind of the problem with the. Wouldn't you agree, Kyle, that's like the problem with brand new builds, and we show up at the racetrack with brand new builds is like yesterday. There was no possible way that we could make more than 2 passes. So we wait there all morning. The first pass is like all of a sudden the fuel pump or fuel filter's clogged, one or the other. We wait all the rest of the time to make another pass.
Because there's several thousand C and D cars, and
Because there's several
that they have
thousand
to run through.
Everybody's got to make their passes, and so we didn't get to make a pass until I think you were probably maybe like
There was maybe
10 cars to the end.
Yeah.
And they shut it down. So if you have one bad pass, you come back up. We're gonna ultimately we need to make more. Well, we will be making more passes with the car and get the drag side figured out. Spent a lot of time getting the drive side figured out, and that's good. It's really good. Drives real nice. Does everything nice.
Yeah, nice, easy, no issues.
Now,
Right, Nate? Nate was in
Right.
the back seat.
It's
Yep.
comfy back there.
it is comfy back there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in it right now. So, anyways, we're taking off, going to the track last day. Lord willing, we can get some crud. We make a good pass, and then that's it. We'll do a recap of the whole thing when we're all done. Now, I have figured out the back seat in this car is comfortable. It would easily hold 2 people. It really will, if you had less crap. So I think the next rendition of this, or really we should get more stuff on the back, and or really I think some of the other guys, like this dude right here, they got a better roof rack set up that is actually better, nice, and I think we can hold more stuff up there, and they definitely have a whole open back seat. But I have figured,
Show them that Malibu. That's one year new left.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's the it's got the same power. It's a different color. It's a 79 here. It is been worked on for years and years and years, so that car goes 850s
850 every time.
every time. All right, but anyways, I have figured out how to get into the car. It is a little bit of a bugger. Oh, especially if you're just an old man suffering your way through stuff. But I am still pliable. Pliable enough to make this happen. Woohoo! Like 10 seconds. All right, I need my hat. Windshield wiper. I almost wanted it to rain just so I could use the windshield wipers. It's such a big deal.
I think your ride is here.
Oh man.
Oh, he's got a camera too.
We still put the gap on him in that car probably.
you just saw my wonderful wife make a pass in the Sugar Mama, last pass, which actually was the exact pass that should be the first pass, right?
We're only 5 days behind.
5 days behind. Kyle did a great job of working on tune, tolerating stress levels, creating stress levels. But just give you a recap of everything that happened. So obviously you've seen where, here's the deal of how everything started. This car was the best it's ever been. It came here perfect. I mean, it was the best it's ever been. It was legitimately perfect. We made one baseline hit. It was perfect. I mean, perfect. It was exactly where we left off on the fastest pass ever. Then I wanted to test some tires, and everything changed my entire setup. All of a sudden the car started shaking violently. When these cars shake violently, think of your 2023 Corvette hitting a 6-inch curb at like 60, 70 miles an hour, but like 50 of them in a row. Okay? Boop, 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 boop. I mean, it is extremely violent in the car, and what the car is doing when the tire paddles like that, I mean, it is violent, okay? It is so violent, it shakes everything and breaks everything and knocks stuff off. Well, it knocked my oil pump belt off. Yes, I did not have a simple check mark because I've been running this car for 3 years and it's been perfect every single time I would go down track. I look at the data logger. I looked at the data logger of the pass before that. It said, yep, oil pressure's perfect. Then it shook again, knocked the belt off. We never knew it. You can see that whole video and everything that that's all about. There goes mine. So you can see all that stuff. Yes, safety is now on permanently. It'll never be off again.
You never need it until you need it.
Yes, you never need that stuff until you need that stuff. So you can see here the car is major bodywork damage. We're gonna have to get us extra car and cut this whole quarter panel off. I'm gonna do some updates. Updates that we're gonna do is lines, hoses. I'm gonna have a auto deployed parachute that deploys on side G meter and on time base. We're gonna put all glass back in it. So this is gonna be glass because it's all steel. I'm gonna put this glass and this glass back in it. Do some final tune stuff and just make this better. So on the transmission line, here's the deal. This is realistically what happened. We put the engine back together. The engine is really, the engine was still running when I shut it off as the car was on fire down here at the end. Everything's fine with the engine. That's great. Everything's fine with actually the transmission. When we put the transmission back in the car, Kyle and Val weren't there because Kyle was helping Val with the car, waiting to make a pass that she never got to make. Entire day, never got to make the pass. While I was putting the engine, machining it, putting it all back together, putting it back in the car with Clark. Thanks, Clark. Clark's invaluable. Or is it invaluable? Invaluable. And so anyways, we needed to hook up the trans cooler. And I did not have the trans cooler hooked up before. And one line was like here's the fitting, and here's the line, and I connected the fitting, and it goes, it's a little bit tight, but you know, it should be okay. Well, guess what happens when the car shakes so violently, it's like you hit a 6-inch curb. Poosh! I'm 99% sure that tire shake is what actually pulled the line out, because it shook on the pass that it did that, pulled the line out. And because it shakes so violently, it bends frame rails, it breaks parts, it does everything. It probably pulled the line out because I let it be too tight. So, leave your comment on that. More than happy to see what you're gonna say about that.
Yes, I know.
Yes, I know. How about that? I learn something new every time. So, that's it on this thing. Now let's talk about...
Hold on, I think that if you haven't raced to the point where you need a parachute, I think it's kind of nice to explain that pulling the parachute, if you go sideways, will straighten you out. So like Kevin Smith just
really good save.
Had a hair-raising pass out there, and the parachute, if your back end starts to go sideways, the parachute will come out and it will pull you back. So pull you back straight. So parachutes have saved a lot of people from rolling. If you don't know drag racing that much, so that's why the automatically launching parachute is pretty cool.
Yep. So that'll be really nice. So we're gonna do some little updates like that. So let's go over and talk about Sugar Mama. Sugar Mama actually really went well. What do you think? Went well?
Could have been worse.
The drag racing side of it was terrible.
So here's the lesson for this one. If you want to find all your problems of your car in 1 week, take it on a drag and drive, and you're gonna find all your problems in 1 week.
Yes, you will. So the first thing that happened was we show up here with a brand new car that had never been driven, only on the hub dyno, never driven, never done anything with. Kyle obviously wanted to do a ton more testing on it, but it is what it is. This is the deal. So we got here and the transmission turned out to not be what it said it was. So we took the transmission out of the car, tried to put a trans brake in it, tried to fix it, make it work, put it back in the car, didn't work. We knew what we would probably have to do to make it work, but it was not gonna work, right?
Yep.
So it was a forward pattern shifter instead of reverse pattern. So we had to change the shifter. So I got shifters in the trailer. I got transmissions in the trailer now. I did not want to pull the transmission out and try to completely go through it. So we got a hold of National Performance Transmission out of Sebastian, Florida. Got a transmission from them. Val went and picked it up. I was still working on my car, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was still working on my car. Kyle put it in, got everything all rocking. We went out and right away, 924, 148.
924, 148.
Yeah, 924, 148. The car, it was working perfect. Came back out. So that was, I'm sorry. So we took the transmission that was not what it was supposed to be, tried to make it work, couldn't make it work. I put, while we were, before we got with National Performance Transmission, before we got with them, we took one of my spare transmissions and converters out of my car, which is 4,500 horsepower versus 1,200 horsepower. And it was so flaming tight. How long did it take to go through first gear?
6 seconds to get through first gear.
6 seconds to go through first gear. The converter was so tight. The first gear ratio was way off. Just can't do that. So we determined we got to get a hold of National Performance Transmission, get a transmission. He has one in stock, and we'll do it. So we go get that thing. Val goes, gets it, puts it in. Okay, so we went there, took that transmission, my transmission, out of the Sugar Mama, put the National transmission in the Sugar Mama. That's when it went 924, 148 right off the trailer. That thing was great, looking good. Then comes Monday, first pass, ignition coil, failed. Went down the track at what?
990. 998, I think.
998, something like that, right? On 7 cylinders. Decided it was getting really long. We didn't want to wait around for next pass because it's so hard. You're gonna get 2 passes at most usually, and then you have to drive 6, 7, 8 hours. So we decided to bolt and fix it later, and it just kind of went downhill from there. So Tuesday, what all happened on Tuesday?
So we knocked the tire off of it like bad twice. You just could not get it to hook up. Partially because of the track, partially because of just setting up the stuff in the car.
Yep. So it blows the tire off twice, like out of nowhere, and then we go, okay. So we slow it way down, and Val lets go of the button. It takes off like pretty decent, like 150 something, 60 foot, which is slow, but I mean it's decent. And goes to make the 1-2 gear change, and
Nothing.
bing, goes right up on the rev limiter.
No gear change.
broke the transmission that we had just gotten from National Performance. And so, but it was still driving, still doing everything. It's like, okay, let's drive it over to Kevin Smith's and we'll get a hold of National Transmission and call him, talk to him. Thank you. He said, no problem, I got another transmission. I'll meet you halfway and take that broken transmission and give you a brand new one. So stood behind his work. Super happy with that. Can't get any better than that. Thank you.
And he went out of his way that first night to stay. He was working out of his home. He said, come on over that first night. And so we drove over there. It was, I don't know, it was like 8 o'clock at night or something. And he stayed open for us. So.
Yep. Thankful to him. That's all cool. So wasted day on Tuesday. We knew the transmission was broke on Tuesday night. Go to Gainesville, say, hey, all we're going to do is just idle down the track, get a time ticket, and go to Kevin Smith's and change the transmission from National Performance. And so that's all we did. So Wednesday was a totally aborted day. Still haven't made any test and tune passes. This car has one test and tune pass, basically, that went well. So we changed transmission, had to drive to the South Georgia Motorsports Park, go out and make a pass, and it's like, plop, 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 plop. It's all angry and unhappy, and it's weird. And it's like, we come back and look at it, and it dropped off fuel pressure. Kyle sees that it has, I thought it was a shifter problem. I thought, oh crap, there's something else wrong. Kyle comes in and says, no, it's got, look at right here, the fuel pressure went down to nothing. It didn't even have enough fuel pressure to run. So you see, we changed the fuel pump on it, took care of that, go back out, and you have to wait all day. So we made the first hit at like 11 o'clock, waited till she was like the 10th to the last car to go, because that's just the way this rolls. It's not like you can just go out and make test passes and figure out what's going on and verify anything. You got to go and you got to wait. And then we get 2 at most. The second pass,
fuel level wasn't there. Fuel pumps were a little bit higher than the old fuel pumps, so it just wasn't enough fuel and it just ran away from the pickups.
Yep.
So another fuel pressure issue,
and another partially aborted pass. So it went like a 10 something with her getting out of it way early because it was misfiring, just crappy.
10-0 something,
yeah.
98 miles an hour.
98 mile an hour. Yep, so that's like, okay, cool. So let's just leave. And we had a great drive. We finally got everything is figured out on this car as far as the street drive portion. You know, we had these fans that were overheating and we fixed the fan issue. As soon as we fixed that, the car has been spot on the money. Kyle's been working on the street tune, and it starts perfect, it drives perfect, humming down the road 65 mile an hour, can get up to 70 mile an hour, and it just great. Stereo can be blaring, windows up, windows down, windshield wipers working, whatever, right? Everything is really, really nice on street drive. Totally figured out. Then we go here today, and it's like, okay, let's just make sure everything works. Let's just make basically the same pass as that 924 pass, or right around there. And it's like, okay, let's just go out, just make sure everything works. If this thing works, let's count it as a success because it is a proven, made the drive, everything is great. Valve goes out and makes a what?
I don't even remember what it was, 944.
944, 148. Yep. 944, 140. Makes the shifts perfect. Everything's great. The fuel, everything was great. We probably could have gone out, went faster, but we are way behind because I got another thing with a transmission problem, which is the merchandise fan that we brought down here is broke down. So another transmission.
So that is like what, 5, 6, 7 transmissions?
It feels like every transmission that's ever been made, but it's not. The one thing that is really, or one of the things that is really great about this car is the full interior. You saw me sitting in the back seat, Kyle sitting in the back seat, Val sitting in the back seat. I think we would put a roof rack on this instead next time, or whatever, instead of off the hitch or off the parachute mount. And Kyle can tell you about the engine. I'm super happy.
All right, so the engine did not skip a freaking beat. We did not take the valve covers off of this thing. We changed the spark plugs twice, changed the oil once. This thing was beaten off the rev limiter, abused.
Sorry.
Kicked the belt off once, and it only kicked the belt off because it didn't have the tensioner in the right spot. So moved the tensioner in the right spot, and even after that, it was still hit the rev limiter a couple times. And
this thing hit the rev limiter almost as much as Matt Field's drift car. Almost as much.
Almost as much, yeah.
And it's not supposed to.
And it's a 454 big block. It's not an LS.
Yes.
It's not meant to be on the railroad letter. So it's pretty impressive.
Yes, this thing has really worked out awesome. Couldn't be happier with the engine.
Yeah. If this was drag week, we could have done like the sealed hood competition side of things, like the sealed hood class.
Yeah,
Where they put a piece of tape over the hood.
Yeah. So it was really cool.
That's it. Shout out to Torkstorm for making a good blower.
Oh yes.
Kyle said if he had to take the valve covers off, we were out. But he wasn't going to do it, so
Yep.
we didn't need to do it.
Didn't need to do it.
You know, we only had to take the transmission out.
You only had to take
20 million
transmission time out 4 times.
So
Didn't have to lift the hood, so.
Kyle can now change the transmission in this car blindfolded because he's done it enough.
In 1 hour.
Yep.
So anyways, the car is really good. I'm super happy with it. And we've been talking, and we have a really big announcement on this car coming up in a couple weeks. So stay tuned. I think you're really gonna dig it. So anyways, I'm Steve Morris.
Val Morris.
I'm Kyle.
Morris. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, buy some merch, and we appreciate all of you.